Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about how to get our spouses or significant others on board of the whole Dave Ramsey plan. I've had so many people email me and tell me about how their husband or their wife is just not on board. They can't seem to get through to them and want to know how they can or how I got my husband on board, because I have mentioned in several of my videos that my husband was not on board of this whole Dave Ramsey debt-free thing at all. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe. Just scroll down a little bit, click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. So let's go ahead and get started. So let me tell you my story about what happened. So I think I've said this in quite a few videos before, but basically I have a degree in accounting, and so I've known about Dave Ramsey. I've known about debt and credit card percentages, like interest and how all that works. And so I knew coming out of college that I needed to get rid of my student loans as soon as possible, and that I did not want a car loan or any kind of debt. I didn't want a credit card or anything. My parents don't own a credit card. They don't have car loans. They are debt free. They've always been cash only, everything. So that's just the kind of life I grew up with. That's just the mentality I've just always had. And then I got married. No, my husband, he's wonderful. He just didn't understand. He didn't realize that if you use a credit card and then if you pay just the minimum, that it will accrue interest, and that interest then you have to pay, and that interest is really high. And so he had a credit card, and then his car went kaput, and we had to buy a car because we lived in Dallas, and there's just no way to get around if you don't have a car. So we ended up with a car, and I told him, I was like, no, we are paying this off as soon as we possibly can. And so we did. We paid it off in less than a year, which was awesome. And then we moved, and well, let me go back. So kept saying to myself, I'm going to start paying on these student loans and get rid of them, and then I never did. And then I never did. And I kept telling him, hey, we really need to go to FPU and take this course and like learn about debt and all that kind of stuff. And he was just like, oh, okay, I mean, I guess, sure. And the church near us in Dallas we found out was going to host FPU, and we were like, yes, finally. And so then we found out that my husband got a new job and we had to move. So we ended up not being able to go to FPU, and we moved to where we live now, which is in Central Texas. And we ended up buying a house, and then our other car went kaput, and we had to buy another car, and we had no savings. Like, we just were not doing well. We were living paycheck to paycheck for no reason. I mean, we would look at our bank account and there would be no money, and there's like nothing to show for it. And it was just really frustrating. It was really frustrating to me. I wanted to get rid of my student loans. I hated that I had to like schedule my paychecks around my student loans, and then on top of that we added a car loan, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, we were just going in circles. My husband did not seem worried about this at all. That money is just not his thing. It's math, just like all of that. It's just right over his head, just not something he ever worried about. And so I would worry about it because being an accountant, I understand what's happening. And so we were talking to our friends, and they were like, hey, like, we are FPU coordinators, and we're going to be doing a class this year. You guys totally need to do it with us. And we were just like, and I shouldn't say we. I was just like, yes, we're doing it. And so I signed us up, and we found out another couple of our friends were going to do it as well. And so that kind of like helped motivate my husband to want to go, because he was just like, I don't understand why we're doing this. And I was like, hey, no, they're coming too. It'll be fun. We'll all get to hang out, give us time to see our friends and learn about money. And so I remember the first day we were headed to FPU, he's driving in the car, and we're like 5 seconds from the church, and he's just like, I really don't want to do this. Can we just go home? This is dumb. And I was just like, no, like, we're doing this. Sorry, but I don't want to live like this anymore, and I know deep down you don't want to either. Let's just give it one class. Let's just try it out. We'll say hi to our friends, and if you don't like it, then I'll just go or something. Like, we'll figure it out. And so that's how I got him there. We went, and I mean, all he needed was one class, you guys. After the first class of FPU, we raced home and he created our budget for us. He created our debt snowball for us, and he also calculated when we should get out of debt. And I was just like, who are you and where did you come from? This is so weird. And what you learn in the class, me being a saver, you have to let the spenders like do their thing. And so I just let him do his thing. And now, and so then every dollar wasn't out yet. So we had our budget and we were keeping track of it. And then he kept telling me, he's like, Sarah, you need to increase your income. You need to increase your income. We have an income issue. And I was just like, where are you, like, what is happening to my husband? This is amazing, but what? And so I did. I increased my income. I added a day of work, started doing YouTube, and then every dollar came out, and every dollar was like a lifesaver for us because my husband is a visual learner. He can hear things, but he needs to see it in front of him. So what was great about every dollar was that he could see how much money we have budgeted, and when you spend it, that money goes down, you know. And so that really, really helped him see where all our money was going. And then the other great thing about every dollar is it gives you a percentage of what your income is going to. So like what percentage is going to housing, what is going to lifestyle, what is going to debt. And so finally he was just like, oh my gosh, like I get it. And so that's what did it for us, and we got out of debt way faster. We did it in a year and a half, and it was amazing. And he's still on board. He still kind of goes back into his spending habits, but he has his own play money now, and I tell him when that's gone, you're done, no more. And so he's like, okay. And so he's doing so much better. I'm so proud of him, and I tell him that all the time. And he's just like a completely changed person. It's insane. So my advice to you who are struggling with your spouses, this is definitely something that both of you have to be on the same page for, because if you're not, it's just not going to happen. I would try as hard as you can to get them to at least one FPU class. Somehow compromise on that. You can go to, I think it's three classes for free, just to try it out, and I would highly recommend going to at least the first one and then kind of go from there and see how it feels for you guys. But you need to be on the same page for sure. Write everything out for them, create an every dollar budget or whichever is best for you to show them visually why you want to do this. And I had someone email me and say, hey, my boyfriend is like not for me doing this. He does not want to live the frugal lifestyle. My friends don't want me doing this and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, if you sit down, your boyfriend or girlfriend, and say, hey, this is really important to me that I become debt free. This is important for my life. And if you can't support that, then we have problems. And I would think the same thing for your friends. We have some friends who went through FPU with us, and they honestly have lost friends because their friends just didn't understand this new lifestyle that they had. They couldn't support them. They wanted to go do stuff, and when they said, no, sorry, it's not in the budget, they stopped hanging out with them. And unfortunately, that's just part of it. You need to find people who are going to support you in this, because it is extremely difficult to get out of debt and stay out of debt. So you need people who are going to be around you that understand and are going to support you and be there for you. And that should be your significant other if you have one. If you don't, boyfriend, girlfriend, your best friend, someone who can help you with all of this. But yeah, go to FPU, at least go to the first class. That's what hooked my husband. And then write out everything that y'all are spending money on. I had one person email me. She wrote down everything from her bank account for the past like month or something, and wrote down what they paid for and all this kind of stuff. And if they had not bought all this crap, they would have been able to put $2,900 towards debt. And they were just like, what? Where did this money go? you know, at the end of the month, our bank account zero. How did that happen? So I would most of the time, people who aren't on board, they just don't see it. So I would highly advise writing it out for them, showing them the numbers, and hopefully that'll motivate them enough to go to FPU and try that out. If you should be able to go to fpu.com or something like that and find a course that's near you. And then maybe ask some friends to go along with you guys and y'all can make it a thing. Like we would go to dinner afterwards, or we would have people over for dinner or something. So anyways, that's my advice to you. I hope that helps a little bit. Leave comments down below of how you got your spouse or significant other on board so that everybody can read everyone's comments and maybe get different ideas. Let me know if you had trouble as well. And if you have any questions, I will try my best to answer them for you. I hope this helped. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.